Being that this was halfway underwater, I was hoping that maybe it could clean up some of the corrosion that got built up on there, the aluminum.
And then TJ makes a great point. There was actually a couple times where we had hurricanes and I had no one to help me pull my car in, and I'd asked TJ, he had said no.
Well, there you go.
We got all of our parts laid out here on the table. This arrow, how it's facing up, you have this little like notch in it. That is locked to when it's on top dead center. And I taped up the right hole. Yeah, no rust, and there's no salt water on this yet.
There you go, right there. Oh, like a glove, buddy. What's going on, everybody? Mike here, AHC Garage. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are back with another video on Brian's RSX Type S. As you can see right over here, we got his motor out in the last video, K20Z1. Today we'll give it a complete refresh. Before we can do that, we want to get this motor nice and cleaned up. And with that, we have our super clean cleaner right over here. We're gonna take our motor to the body shop. We will spray this down with this degreaser here. And we're gonna brush it down, clean it up, and we come right back over here and start out disassemble.
All right, so we're ready to clean up the engine bay, and TJ is gonna help me out. Now, I only know about degreasing. I've been using Super Clean a lot on my own projects. This is the foaming action out of the spray bottle, and you've got the one out of the aerosol, which works pretty good.
Easy spray aerosol can.
Removes grease, oil, different things. Now, we're gonna use it, and it's gonna clean it up. Now, you had some concerns about what it cleans up.
Yes.
What were your concerns?
Being that this was halfway underwater, I was hoping that maybe it could clean up some of the corrosion that got built up on there, the aluminum.
And then TJ makes a great point. There was actually a couple times where we had hurricanes and I had no one to help me pull my car in, and I'd asked TJ, he had said no. He didn't even come to help, and there was only one person, Juan. So there was some water that was on the undercarriage of the car. Luckily, we didn't have any upholstery in. But to answer your question, I think it will take care of salt water if there was on any.
So.
Because I see what you're saying in the videos when I'm not here, and I want to set this track record straight, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and spray everywhere. We got the areas that matter all taped up. Now the reason why I like the foaming one is because the foaming one is a little bit thicker and it sits. And as it sits, it eats into all the grease. Whereas like the more liquefied versions, it kind of just runs down and runs off of the actual panel or whatever you're trying to clean. So this kind of has like a static to it, like a foaming static that will get into all those areas, sit, and then eat away at the grease. And let me tell you, if you let this stuff sit for a few moments, you'll see just all the black starting to fade off. Now, again, they make it in two different types. This is the foaming action, and I'll show you here just a little bit how that works as well. But you can foam it too, and it will foam just up like that. And the reason why I like the foam as well is because it's a thicker version. So whichever one you like, they both work pretty good.
All right, so now we got the motor all cleaned up. We're gonna go ahead and disassemble it and get everything off of the motor so we can go ahead and reseal everything. We're not gonna take the head off or any of that, but we're gonna put all new gaskets, we're gonna put all new seals, new coolant hoses, you know, any rubber hoses that we see are bad, we're gonna refresh all that so that way we don't have any issues with this car down the road.
All right, so we start off with the dry belt here. We're gonna go ahead and remove all the accessory first. Then we move on to the exhaust manifold, and then the valve cover, and then work the way down. All right, so power steering pumps first. Alternators up next. And next up we have the water pump here.
This here.
And up next we'll be taking off the thermostat housing here. Alright, so up next here we have our water pump housing here. And intake manifolds is up next here. Ooh, what's up with all this oil here, TJ?
Oh, well, that could be one of two things. Either you have a leaking valve cover gasket or whoever was putting their oil in themselves spilled it, because you can see all the stains right here.
Oh, how do you know that?
Come on, K-Series master. I know all that.
Okay, so exhaust manifold up next. Alright, VTEC cylinder is up next. You can do it, TJ. Come on. Come on. There you go. See, that is oil in there. Go ahead and take a look at the internal. Ooh. Nice and clean. And up next we have the engine oil pan here. Okay. There you go.
Looks like it was underwater, huh?
And it's the bottom man here.
Let's try out our new drain pan here.
Working pretty good.
Yeah. Nice.
So let's go ahead and put her back up at the top that center. We're not too far from it.
Yeah, it should be right here. Right there.
Yeah. A little bit more. I think you're right there on the money.
Yeah.
How are you doing back here? Okay.
That's it.
There you go. Top that center. So we have our Milwaukee half-inch impact driver here. I think it's like 1,200 foot-pound of torque there. And then what kind of socket that is?
This is a Ingersoll Rand torque multiplier socket. So this thing is going to multiply the torque on the reversing torque here and crack that bolt loose if it's really tight.
Let's
Now
see.
we don't know how tight it is though.
Let's see.
Let's see the old Milwaukee and the socket can do it. Just in case though, I'm gonna have to disclose this. I do got my beast mode air going over there just in case. All right, ready?
Let's go. Oh yeah.
I'd like to say it's mainly the socket. Mike's gonna say it's the Milwaukee.
Here's my
I mean,
gun.
it is a beast.
Here's my gun.
It is a beast.
Here's my gun.
Caught it. Then rest 10s.
Come on, Milwaukee.
Here. See, the two lining up on the bottom.
Well, there you go.
Ready? All right, so we got all of our parts laid out here on the table. This is basically pretty much everything we need to just refresh the motor. We're not rebuilding it, but we're just putting all new seals, oil seals, chain tensioners, water pump, all the coolant hoses, the bypass hoses, you know, pretty much all of that is what we're changing here, and we're just going to make sure there's not going to be any oil leaks and any failures to the rubber hoses. I guess we'll get started over here with the cam angle sensors, and we'll kind of just work our way from here over to the timing chain area.
So all we are doing, just basically changing with all new O-rings. Got one right over here for this one here.
All right, now that we got some of the miscellaneous O-rings and gaskets out of the way, we're gonna go ahead and start changing, putting up back on all our timing chain and tensioners and all that. We're gonna put a new cam phaser on, just so we have a nice brand new one, so it doesn't make any kind of crazy noises like some of them do. Then we'll start getting everything together here with the oil pump on, new chain, new timing chain, new tensioners, and then we'll go ahead and slap on the side cover. All right, so we got our old cam phaser off here, and I put the new one on to an old camshaft that I had laying around. So basically, if you see here, this arrow, how it's facing up, you have this little like notch in it. That is locked to when it's on top dead center. Now you see how we got it brand new, it is not locked in the top dead center position. So if I were to go to put this on right now and try to line it up, the cam, I can line it up, the arrows and everything. The problem is once it actually gets oil pressure, it's gonna phase back to where it should be, and now it's gonna throw off our timing. So that's gonna kind of mess it all up. So the way to do it is put it on like the camshaft. If you have an extra camshaft, or you'd have to take that one out of the head, and you got to tape up. There's some holes over here. You got to tape one set up, and you'll just put compressed air into one, and that will unlock or lock the VTC gear. So I think I taped up the right one, but let's find out. And I did. I taped up the right hole.
So let's take a look at the camshaft here. We went ahead and taped it off. Can you pull the tape off so they can see what you're talking about? See, that's the one that we blew air in.
So if we take the tape off, you have another hole here. So if we were to tape off the top hole and shoot air here, it will phase back the opposite way. And that will be the wrong way, because once we put our timing on, it's gonna be off time. We'll tighten this down after we put the timing chain on.
And up next, we're gonna assemble our oil pump. We got a brand new chain here, along with some new guides. Let's go ahead and slide that on really quick here.
All right, we got to move that one back.
Okay, next up we have our timing chain tensioner here. Come on, TJ. There you go. And we got a timing chain cover back on, and there's going to be a VTC cylinder right over here. Okay, next up, let's go and flip the motor upside down, and we're going to work on the oil pan here. So the side timing chain cover along with the oil pans is all perfectly sealed and installed. Next up, we got the intake manifold. Before we install the intake manifold, we have our water passage here. And with the water passage, we got a bunch of water hoses that we are going to change with a brand new one to avoid any issues down the road. So we got all new hoses, and the last thing we have is a new gasket here. Manifold's up next. Water pump housing's up next. We have a O-ring here and some Honda bond all around the contact area. And our fresh, brand new water pumps up next. And next up, we're going to install our oil cooler. See, is that a JDM oil filter?
Well, I don't know about JDM, but it's from Japan.
Put that key away for the crank pulley. Yep, get the new gasket back in, all new hoses. Ready for that install here. A VTEC cylinder gasket is up next here. Oh man, it's dry.
Oh yeah.
It's coming out in pieces. Oof. And the alternator is up next. AC compressor lower bracket here. And the AC compressor. And here we have a brand new dry valve tensioner. Side engine mount brackets up next here. Exhaust manifolds up next here. There you go. We finished our exhaust manifold shield. Unfortunately, I did not get new hardware. We're gonna have to get some new ones soon. And next up, we will be ready for our starter. Now, the one that came with the vehicle still works, but you know, in order for us to replace that starter, once we put the motor back in the car, it's going to be a pain in the behind. So, we got ourselves a Denso factory replacement starter, just in case if that old one act up, we'll be just fine.
Okay. So we finished putting the starter in, and I think before we put the valve cover back on, we should go ahead and check our valve lash. And right now we have it set on top dead center, so what we're going to do is just take this one here, put it right between the little tap it, and see how loose it is, or how tight it is, and in this case, it's very loose, super loose.
You imagine it's loose.
No
the
drag.
car does have like 120,000 miles on it,
Yeah. So
which
there
is natural.
Yeah, there's no drag on it.
What specs is this one here?
This is a 0.009 inch or a 229 millimeter, 23. So this is pretty much on the tighter side for the intake. Actually, no, this is in the middle. This is in the middle for the intake. I'm going with the tighter side for the exhaust because on the specs there's only a 0.010 or 0.011.
And TJ got this special tool here built specifically for valve adjustment. So if you want to flip this here, what it has on the other end, the open end here, you can see is a screwdriver. And then it's a
10 mil.
10 mil head here. You can take a look here. So you can turn the nuts and also do the adjustment at the same time. Let's go and take a look at that here. So now, yep. That's why I call this feeler gauge, because he's working with the feel. Okay.
There you go. Nice drag.
Now, obviously, the motor's off the car makes it a lot easier to do the valve adjustment versus in the car. But so we got one down, one to go on the intake side. Then we'll jump onto the exhaust. Then we got 3 other cylinder. 1, 3, 4, 2, right?
Yeah, 1,
1, 3, 4, 2. There you go. So number 1 cylinder is all good to go. We'll go ahead and spin the crank, and now we are going to be doing cylinder number 3.
Yeah, we got to bring these dots here over, kind of facing about right here. You can also check to see if you put a extension or screwdriver. Yeah. Okay, now it's down, right? So
we just place an extension here. You can kind of see when it hit top that center there.
see it right there.
Right about there.
Yep. Then move up.
Because once you keep going, so
yeah,
they can see it.
Back down.
You see where you go back down. So this is a good way to tell if you hit top that center or not. And here's what the arrow looks like. That's what TJ claimed.
You know, I am a K-Series master, so I kind of got to know where it's going to be at, you know? So it should be 4 right there.
You sure about that, TJ?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the valve adjustment is all good to go. Next up, we're going to mount up our power steering pump right over here. Yep, and next up we'll be up for the spark plugs. Good old Denso here. TJ's put on the original valve cover that came off the vehicle. We did order a new valve cover from our friend Charlie Moore, but that's going to take about 2 weeks before it get in. So in the meantime, we're just going to temporarily bolt that up, and then once we drop the motor in the car, then we go ahead and install our brand new valve cover. So we got the valve cover back on the car, and we tried to figure it out how we gonna get the motor off the stand, because we still got the remake seal. We got our clutch system, which you're gonna see in just a little bit. Okay, I think right at the cylinder head there is good. There we go. Ready to go?
Yeah, go up a little bit. Go. Go.
She's free.
Got it.
Here we go. Next up, Pop out that reaming seal.
You want to know why it was so tight in there?
Why is that?
Because this thing's been underwater a few times. You see the salt? We got our clutch kit from ACT here. We're going to be putting on Brian's motor. And this is a ACT heavy duty street performance clutch upgrade kit. It is a sprung disc here. No 5-puck or anything like that. No 6-puck, no puck, anything. Just a nice disc. That's a very nice upgrade from the stock clutch. And we all know that he needed it, as you can tell when we were filming and taking off. It was definitely underwater a few times.
And next up, we're gonna go ahead and remove our clutch with these 12.10 millimeter there. I think that's 6 of them there.
You know what this looks like? This looks like it's been underwater a couple of times. Clean up some of the corrosion that got built up on there, the aluminum.
And then TJ makes a great point. There was actually a couple times where we had hurricanes and had no one to help me pull my car in. And I'd asked TJ, he had said no. He didn't even come to help, and there was only one person, Juan. So there was some water that was on the undercarriage of the car. Luckily, we didn't have any upholstery in. But to answer your question, I think it will take care of salt water if there was on any.
So.
Because I see what you're saying in the videos when I'm not here, and I want to set this record straight, okay?
Hopefully he doesn't get this one underwater, you know. But yeah, this kit is very nice. We put one on my Type S, so of course it's only fitting to put one on Brian's Type S. And it comes with everything you need here. A nice street-like flywheel. You got your pressure plate, your disc, your throw-up bearing, a pilot bearing, your alignment tool. Pretty much everything you need to install it on your motor.
Go ahead with some brake cleaner, clean off some of the oil on the surface, the flywheel here. So we're getting ready to put on our flywheel. Now before we do that, we are going to be running ARP bolts for the flywheel and also for the pressure plate. And along with that, we always touch it up with some Honda blue Loctite. And we'll do the same thing to the pressure plate bolts. A little bit of blue Loctite. Hey TJ, do you know what you're doing here?
Well, if I didn't, it says right here, transmission side. So.
But this one, no rust though. No rust on this one.
Yeah, no rust, and there's no salt water on this yet.
And for lubrication, we'll be using the Honda high temperature Eureka grease. Just light coat on all the contact points here. And we're trying to get everything off right at the pivot point there.
It's not that heavy. That's right, you got it.
There you go. Yeah. There you go, right there. Oh, like a glove, buddy. Yeah, and the transmission went on smoothly. And all we're gonna do here, we're gonna slide on our intermediate shaft here. Yep, and we got our motor and transmission safely on our SK dolly here.
Wow, now I know I'm in good hands with the guys with the engine. Everything is completely resealed. And we got the valve cover coming up, and it's gonna be a little bit of a surprise, and we can't wait to show you that. Another surprise that you all have been waiting for is what color did I choose to paint my RSX? And you're gonna find out, because in this episode coming up next, we're gonna be painting the inside of the engine bay first. And we're gonna do that color reveal. It's gonna be great. You're not gonna wanna miss it. We'll see you guys on the next episode.